Hello, this is Dr. Ray Jan. This is lesson one covering how to do citations using the MLA format. Remember, rule number one is you must cite anything that you borrow from someone else or somewhere else. Anything that doesn't come out of your own pretty little head, you've got to cite. This is called scholarship. If you don't cite, that's called plagiarism. So let's get started. I have some sample text here on this screen that you're looking at, and I wrote some text that and then I cited some authors. Let's begin. There are many who think that technological progress will increase to the point where human existence will be dramatically changed. In a decade, biotechnology will be made 1,000 times more powerful than it is today. Kurzweil, page 37. In this citation by Ray Kurzweil, it is introduced by text, and then here is the citation set off using quotations. That is called a direct citation. And then here you have the Kurzweil, the author, and then the page number where that is found. We will take a look at the work cited in a few moments. Kurzweil goes on to state that beginning in about 2025, humans will be adding a year to their life expectancies for every year that they live. He calls this the tipping point of human existence. This second citation is a paraphrase. It's an indirect quotation. So here I've summarized what Kurzweil said, but again, I note Kurzweil by citing his name here and the page number where this is found. This is called an indirect or a paraphrase. But notice both I have cited twice. Here in the first citation is Kurzweil, whose name is in the citation. And the second time, Kurzweil, because I used his name in the sentence, I do not put his name a second time in the same sentence before the citation on page 36. Let's take a look at the work cited. So this Kurzweil and this Kurzweil is called a signal word. It signals what the reference, which is below in the work cited. And what that means is I go and look for the word Kurzweil in the work cited, and here it is. Ray Kurzweil, progress excels exponentially. That's the title of the article. It is found in a book, which is also known as the container in which the article is found. And the container or the title of the book is The Way We Will Be 50 Years from Today. 60 of the world's greatest minds share their vision of the next half century. It is edited by Mike Wallace. It used to, in MLA, you would find a city, but that is no longer the case. In the MLA8, edition 8, which we are using now, the city has been eliminated, which makes sense because if you look at most books and most publishers, they have multiple cities, and we usually just choose the first city and cite that. Well, when there are multiple cities, it doesn't, and in this day and age, it doesn't matter what city the actual book was printed in, not anymore. And so all you need is the name of the publisher. In this case, it is Thomas Nelson. Was published in 2008. It is found on pages 33 through 38. The works cited is arranged alphabetically. Here you have Kurzweil, Maslach, Stern, K, M, and S. So this is the works cited is always arranged alphabetically. The signal words signal to the alphabetical list found in the works cited. So here's Maslach, and here is Stern, Nancy Stern. So they don't need to be in alphabetical order in the paper, but they must be in alphabetical order in the works cited. The new MLA has made some major improvements, ones that I very, very much approve of. The older MLA had things at the end like print, and it's obvious it's print if it has page numbers. It had something at the end for called web if it's URL, but isn't it kind of obvious that it's from a website? So the newer MLA, it is, I think, far superior than the older one. So let's pick up Maslach and Stern in the paper and see how to cite those. Technology was developed to meet commercial needs. On the other hand, Nancy Stern counters the argument stating Eckert and Mockley were responsible for the development of the first commercial digital computers, page 582. Notice that when you cite authors, you don't cite them as if they are the only authority available on the topic. You must also evaluate, and you must also discuss, bring these authors into a discussion of your own. It is your own argument that makes the most sense in your paper. If we wanted Nancy Stern's article, we just read her paper. If we wanted Kurzweil's argument, then we read his paper. No, we want, because you are writing the paper, we want yours. So you are entering a discussion with Kurzweil here, with Nancy Stern here, and with Maslach here. And so when we look at the Nancy Stern, we find that we do not put, again, we do not put Stern's name here in front of page 586 because we already have her name listed in the sentence. And look at the second citation here. In the article, The Art of Reviewing, the author recommends that the researchers spend needed time in reading and research as well as to be well versed on the topic. And here is Maslach. Notice there's no page number for Maslach. Why? If we go down to the works cited, we see that Maslach is from a website here. Therefore, there's no page number on a website, and therefore in MLA, we just put Maslach with no page number. Let's review the sources, the new sources that we introduced here. Maslach is the author, Bruce Maslach. He wrote an article called The Art of Reviewing. This article is found in a journal called the American Historical Association, the Professional Society for All Historians. It is in a website called the Perspective Online, which is a container within a container. Here is volume 39, issue 2. It was published in 2001. And here is the URL where it's found. Notice what I have here in parentheses. And this is just a note for you. Do not put this in your own papers. Provide an access date. Access dates are now optional in MLA. I would suggest that you provide um, an access date if the location of the article has changed or it is no longer available. Then you would provide the date. If it has merely moved, I would just change the URL and make it match the one that, even though you would cite it at a different place, it's the same article, just use the new one. But if it's gone altogether, then I would provide an access date to show that you have cited it. When you did cite it, it was there. Let's look at Nancy Stern's article. Here she wrote something called The Eckert-Mauchly Computers, Conceptual Triumphs, Commercial Tribulations. It was found in a journal called Technology and Culture, the International Quarterly of the Society for a History of Technology. It was published in volume 23, number 4, in 1982. It is found on pages 569 to 582. And so the what you have in the work cited is a complete reference. So if I wanted to find this quotation of Nancy Stern's right here, I would have to look at Nancy Stern's article, which is here, found at inside this journal and published on this date and on these page numbers. Okay, there you have it. This is how you cite using MLA format. Remember to vary the way you cite as well as vary the way you write. See you next time.